The quicker definition with pictures is a service mesh is a tool. It's, in general, I'm going to talk about it in the context of Kubernetes. And what we mean by a service mesh is there are a bunch of little proxies. In our case, because I'm talking about Linkerd, I'm going to use the Linkerd proxy. And a proxy is like a very small load balancer. And it uses a Kubernetes construct called a sidecar, right? Which is a way to put another process right beside your application process. And we set up a bunch of proxies in your cluster. They sit in between your various applications, and they do, so my boss likes to say, they do stuff with your traffic, right? And what that stuff is going to vary based on the service mesh and based on what you want, but that's what we'll be talking about today. So what I've got here is a picture of an application running in Kubernetes. So we've got, our cluster represented by the big box. We have an ingress at the top. That's kind of like the front door for the cluster. That's where stuff comes from the internet into your applications. And then we're going to go from that ingress to your actual app. In our case, our app consists of 3 components. We have web, which is our front end. We have 2 backend services, foo and bar, right? And so a service mesh is made up of 2 components, a control plane and a data plane. The control plane is a command and control interface. It's what humans or other computers are going to use to interact with the service mesh. And then we have our bits that do work, which are those proxies. And we refer to those proxies all together as the data plane. So, using Linkerd, what we do is we take our traffic and we route it, instead of directly from application to application, we route it from application to proxy to application. So we had 2 new hops in the middle, and those hops give us some extra stuff, which is why we add in the mesh. In general, we describe a service mesh as adding security, observability, and reliability to your application, and doing it in a way that doesn't require you to make any changes to your application code, right? If you're an app developer, an app that is in the mesh and out of the mesh looks the same to you, right? You're sending your communication across the network and it's continuing to behave as normal, just slightly better. And if you're a platform team person, you're able to see a lot more about what this application is doing. You're able to encrypt and positively identify the various parties that are talking and kind of go from there.